Hey everybody, it's Congressman Jamie Raskin from Maryland's beautiful 8th District. I'm down in my office in the Rayburn House office building. Today is Friday, June the 13th, and it's my favorite time of the week, Local Hero, when we get to salute and interact with the people who make life so magical in Maryland's 8th Congressional District. And my local hero this week should be a stranger to nobody. It is the mayor of Rockville, Monique Ashton, who served on the city council in Rockville before she ran for mayor. She's still in her first term, but she's been getting a ton of stuff done. She is freshly returned from what was originally an opening of the new Trader Joe's in downtown Rockville, taking over for where Dawson's was. Then it looked like there wasn't going to be an opening. Then there was an opening where there was some electrical problem. But anyway, very exciting day in Rockville. But I wanted to salute Mayor Ashton for a number of things she's done recently, including her absolute responsiveness to the layoffs and firings that have taken place at the federal level, affecting a lot of people in our community. And also, there's a recent annexation that's taken place in Rockville, allowing for the naming of some new streets. And because this is the week of Juneteenth, I wanted to salute and celebrate Mayor Ashton and people of Rockville for what's just happened. So we'll get into all of it, but I just want to start by saying congratulations, Mayor Ashton. You are a local hero.
That is so incredible. I will say we have so many local heroes, the people who are stepping up every day to make the city better. And I just want to say it's a tremendous honor to hear that from you because you are my hero, what you're doing for our country every day. We so appreciate you.
Well, that means a lot to me, Monique. Congratulations about the new opening of the grocery store. I love it, Trader Joe's in Rockville.
It is fantastic. There were over 300 people in the square today coming out. There was a small mechanical glitch, but we got it open, and you can visit today, tomorrow. Come show them some love. But there's some new and exciting things happening in Town Center with new murals and new businesses coming in, and I encourage everyone to come out. And also lots of events. So there's free exercise classes. There are salsa Thursdays and concerts on Fridays. So come out and enjoy.
Well, we all love Rockville, and I can't wait to come see the new Trader Joe's. I love Trader Joe's, and I've traditionally shopped at the one in Silver Spring, and out on the way to Colesville on Colesville Road. But I will definitely come check that one out this weekend. And I was a big fan of Dawson's, being sort of old-fashioned, and I'm going to miss Dawson's. They had great smoothies there, but Trader Joe's is so much incredible stuff to offer.
Yeah, and you can still visit Dawson's at University of Shady Grove. They do some of the catering there. So we're happy to see them in that new role as well, and are thrilled about Trader Joe's.
That's exciting because that's a local family, right? Dawson's, yeah. Well, look, Mayor Ashton, first of all, I really did want to thank you for acting with such speed and sensitivity to deal with the problem of a lot of our people being sacked by this Elon Musk, DOGE, Donald Trump offensive against the federal workforce. And, you didn't take the position of that's just a federal problem. That's not my issue. You said, these are our people. They're my constituents. They're your constituents, and we work together. But tell us some of the things that Rockville's been working on in order to respond.
Thank you. So I will just say this, the Moore administration has been doing fantastic. We have been collaborating with the Department of Labor at the state level to try to adapt and make sure we're supporting. They have been incredibly responsive and listening to us in terms of the things that we were hearing on the ground, and then help them to adapt some of the things that we're doing at the state level, including some of the weekly calls that they're offering to help people who were recently laid off. And then at the county level, in my role as a Maryland Municipal League Montgomery chapter president, we've been coordinating monthly coordinating calls with the county leaders, and they have also been incredible to share how we're dealing with changes on grants and changes to our federal workforce, changes on protecting our things that we need to come together, protect our people. And so we have stood up a Rise and Renew program here in the city of Rockville to help people have discounted access to our recreation and programs, and offered free programs. We've offered free gathering space for people who just want to get together and talk about what they were going through. We have added additional funding into Some of our programs are caregiver programs, so we increased our budget for that, and then added more money to support rental assistance program, help with utility assistance, help with healthcare costs, really just trying to think through people who have never needed help may need help now. And then through our economic development group, also collaborating to make sure that we're supporting people to have a shift, whether they need to become an entrepreneur or learn how to work and do procurement in other places, working with local governments and the private sector, and then giving people training on how to pivot. And so that's been happening with our Chamber of Commerce and Rockville Economic Development, Inc. and the Maryland's Business Center, and then collaborating with Mobilize Montgomery and WorkSource Montgomery to help get people into new jobs. This has been an incredibly disruptive time for so many families. We have families who are one federal worker, some have two federal workers, and their household, and the children are feeling it. So we have to deal with this at a community level. And then more broadly, we're trying to bring more businesses into Rockville and Montgomery County so we can diversify our workforce as well.
Well, each one of those is a really meaningful component in our capacity to respond to this crisis. And yes, shout out to Governor Moore, and shout out to Mark Elrich, County Executive, for everything they've been doing also to try and respond. I think it's exemplary what all of you have done. And I thank you for being just involved in this struggle to absorb the shock of what's taking place. And, you know, we're obviously trying to fight it at the federal level, and some jobs have been restored. There's been litigation that has allowed some people to at least get their salaries back. Of course, I say my constituents don't just want their salaries back, they want their jobs back. They don't want a paid vacation. They want to go back to be a cancer researcher at NIH, or an air traffic controller at FAA, or a food and drug inspector at agriculture or FDA, right? They want to work. They don't, you know, so Elon Musk has left town, and Musk and Trump have turned on each other. Well, maybe this could be a moment for some rethinking of the whole project. But meantime, I want to thank you for everything you've done there. Now, the other thing that really caught my eye last week, Monique, was there's an annexation taking place and some street namings. And I thought what you did was so wonderful. And I thought, hey, this is the perfect moment to recognize you for everything you've been doing, because Juneteenth is coming up on Thursday. That's a federal holiday now, and it's a big deal for a lot of people in our community. So tell us about the annexation and then the idea that you had about the streets.
So EYA wanted to build a new community, and they own part of Rockville property, and they bought some property that was outside the city, and they were interested in fully annexing into the city. And so we went through that entire process last term. And, when we were coming to the table to talk about this possibility, there were a number of things that we collaborated on. They helped to provide some of the parking for the King Farm Farms. That's another big project that's happening with my colleagues on council. They put some additional green features that we requested, and they also did some additional affordability things. But we also said, hey, would you consider naming the street names after BIPOC leaders? And I have to say, they came forward and really did it. And so we now have 5 street names in the city of Rockville that are brand new after 5 trailblazing educators: Henson Norris, Margaret Taylor Jones, Dr. George B. Thomas, Nina Clark, and Odessa Shannon. And they were—
Odessa Shannon, I know.
Yes,
But
yes.
so these are all local educators from Montgomery County, all from Rockville?
Rockville and Montgomery County. And
Yeah.
some date back, I'll say Henson Norris dates back to the 1800s. He was born into slavery, and he was denied on so many levels. Once he was emancipated, he worked with his neighbors to petition for the first school for African-American children, which was a bold move at that time. It's still a bold move today. But I just, was someone that had done so much. And we know education is the great equalizer, right? It's so important. It's the trade of all trades. Just to be able to honor these heroes who have done so much, and to have many of their descendants. We had descendants from 3 of the families with us on Sunday to be able to open these street names. And not only did we have the street names, but now when you go into the community center for this new 200 unit community, you will see the names, the faces, and the bios of each of them as soon as you go into that center. So it's an incredible honor to be able to really recognize people who did so much for us. Dr. George B. Thomas opened the Saturday School, still continuing to train so many children across our county. There is a school in Rockville High School that meets on every Saturday to help kids who need to learn a couple of areas or explore science or even to get ahead. And the impact that they've made on our county is incredible. And so this is about honoring our leaders and creating a space for all of us. And I really love the way this new community is incorporating history, honoring BIPOC leaders, but also thinking about the important role of education in our society.
That's just so beautiful. And it is part of, I think, an awakening in our county to that history. It's like the Josiah Henson Museum and Park, which I'm a big fan of. And people are able to go there and imagine what it was like to have, been here in the 18th or 19th century where human beings were enslaved and what it was like for African American people to live during that time. And so the renaming of these streets in honor of these great educators is part also of this process of our discovering the great history and honoring the history of everybody in our community. It's just a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and for me, it's also important. I remember when I was growing up and not being able to see leaders on the walls, and you go into many institutions, there were, not very diverse, and in a lot of ways, even in terms of gender. And so for children to be able to walk into a space and to see leaders, diverse leaders in this way, who overcame so much and still paved the way forward and left a legacy for others. And I wouldn't be here without so many of these leaders who created space for us, for all of us, to open the door a little bit more. So it's the least that we can do to honor their work.
Well, and it's a great way to think about Juneteenth, which was all about overcoming and transcending slavery and racism. For us, moving past Jim Crow and segregation and embracing the great achievements of African American people in our history, whether as educators or teachers or scientists or public officials, political leaders, and so on. What you've done with these streets will forever change the sense of what it's like to grow up in Rockville, as you're saying. And thank you for doing this, and thank you for your leadership for our people just across the board. Mayor Ashton, you're a local hero to us. We treasure your leadership, and we see the changes taking place in Rockville all over the place.
Well, I just want to say, one is thank you to the families of these leaders. As you travel down Henson Norris Street or Margaret Taylor Jones Place or even Dr. George B. Thomas Road and, Odessa Shannon Way and 9 o'clock Drive, we'll be able to kind of feel their spirits and remember what they did for us. But also, I'll just say this, the families of these leaders sacrificed so much. We actually had 3 families, 9 o'clock's family, Odessa Shannon's family, and Dr. Thomas's family, and had a chance to finally say thank you to them, because we all know in leadership, it does require some level of sacrifice. And to see Dr. Thomas's wife there and to say thank you, because I'm sure Dr. Thomas wouldn't have been able to do everything that he did without that family support. And so just to be able to say thank you to them and to see the next generation of their family carrying forward was just a tremendous honor for our city.
Well, that's so terrific. Thank you, Mayor Ashton. Thanks to all the people of Rockville for making this happen. And thanks to the families of these heroes who are being recognized in this way by our local hero, Mayor Monique Ashton. And hopefully I'll bump into you in Rockville this weekend, Mayor Ashton.
Thank you. And I want to say again, thank you to you. We have incredible federal, state, county leaders. And I also want to thank my council colleagues, because without them, none of this would be possible. We have incredible leaders who are trying to protect and uplift in our community. And it's an honor to serve alongside all of you.
Well, yes, indeed. We thank the great Rockville City Council, and we thank Mayor Ashton, our local hero, for Friday, the June 13th, and happy Juneteenth, everybody, for the whole week.